Well, hello, my beautiful Leo. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your singles love reading for mid-August right through to mid-September 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings, and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. Also, I'm just going to try a little bit of an experiment, okay? So whilst I'm doing the Gaia chimes, take a moment to really pause and reflect on the sort of love that you want to draw into your life. Really see the sort of person you want to attract at this time and connect to that vibration as I do the Gaia chimes, okay? So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Leo, this is your singles love reading. First off, I want to wish all you wonderful Leos a wonderful happy birthday. I hope you have the most magical time indeed. Of course, those of you who've already had your birthday, I hope you had a fabulous time. But of course, all of you who have yet to come, I hope you really celebrate your wonderful self, okay? So let's get to your overarching energy and see what's going on there with you regarding your love life and your feelings about how things are going with your current circumstances. So thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Leo? What do they need to know? Well, we got the Tower, okay? So a lot of you are rebuilding something in your life. Perhaps you've had some sort of monumental shock in your life regarding love or relationships. But this could also be an energy of you really stand out. You know, the Tower can be a tower of power. It doesn't mean it's negative. In fact, that card actually says revelation. So you may be learning more about yourself, what you want, your needs. Have you accepted less than you truly deserve in relationships? You know, this is a card that indicates some of you are feeling a bit isolated. You know, you may feel that there's no one out there who's really willing to put the work into relationships. Anyone who is perhaps, you know, strong enough to walk by your side. I just get this energy with the Tower as a protagonist energy that you're someone who has been through a lot and you require someone who, you know, knows what they want, who's strong, who is forthright in their emotions, who's willing to explore love and life with you. And of course, you know, the Tower as a protagonist energy, this can indicate that some of you have been through a relationship experience that really broke down and maybe shocked you. Perhaps you thought you were going to move in with this person or love this person forever. You were going to be with this person for the rest of your life. So some of you have come to this reading trying to heal that part of yourself. And you may be wondering, will you love again? The answer is absolutely yes. I mean, look at the outcome energy. We got the Lover's card right there. So I feel like you're on a trajectory towards love. But for those of you who have not had a previous relationship in the past, I definitely see here that you're building a life that is welcoming true love to come on in, okay? It may not feel like it right now. I mean, the Tower can indicate that there's a lot of chaos on the dating scene, that you've withdrawn and protected yourself because you feel that people are somehow emotionally detached, or they're not available, or perhaps you just feel like you're going round and round in circles, meeting the same sort of person, maybe someone who's not investing. But the Tower energy, you know, this is kind of like a period of surprise, okay? So it can mean that you're going to meet a person where it is love at first sight. I feel there is a bit of a shock coming here for you, but because this is your protagonist energy, and I mean shock in a positive way because of the outcome. It says choice there, so it could be that you have two people in your future to choose from, but right now you're feeling a little bit like bereft. You feel like, not that you're drifting, because I feel like you're focusing on, you know, your life. It could be that there's been a lot going on in your life right now and you haven't been able to catch a break, really. You know, this card can indicate that, you know, you've been going through some unexpected changes in your life, a shift. You've been going through a transition, as it were, and that means that higher frequencies are coming into your life. You're shattering illusions. You're really looking at what you want in a relationship, what you don't want in a relationship. You know, there's a paradigm shift here where things are flipped. You know, it's an opportunity to rebuild your life in new ways and be open to new experiences, of course, but it can indicate that some of you, especially, and I gotta say it how it is, okay, as we mature, sometimes shattering illusions as to what love is as opposed to what it should be, okay? Because sometimes, you know, especially when we're growing up, we're told about this big fairy tale of love, but it requires two people to sort through their stuff, their baggage, you know, acknowledge that they are going to open themselves to intimacy, and that can be a vulnerable experience. It can also indicate that, you know, we have fears around love. People are not willing to, especially in this day and age, they're not willing to be as open. There's a lot of kind of like disconnect. As much as we have so much technology that is apparently supposed to bring us together, it has kind of shattered the connection between people and kept people at a distance. So you may be feeling really disoriented when it comes to finding a person and how to meet a person, and you're shattering your illusions around love. You know, you're being really kind of like honest with yourself, realistic, as it were. But also, I feel with that Tower, I mean, it does say revelation. So this can mean that you're learning more about yourself, of course. You're suddenly having an epiphany about love and coming out of your comfort zone, because the Tower can represent prison type structure. You know, you got into a cycle of repeat, and we all do it. I'm not pointing fingers at you. It can be that there's been a bit of a repetitive cycle going on in your life, and you're like, I gotta get out there, I gotta do stuff, I gotta be more passionate or connect to hobbies. And of course, life is hard. We don't always have the luxury of being able to embrace whimsy in our lives. But I feel like you are trying to follow your heart and break free from some sort of cycle, whether it is you keep meeting the same sort of people and the relationship ends in the same way and you're feeling a little bit stuck in a rut there, or whether it is that you are like super busy and you haven't been able to get out there and connect to, you know, groups of people. Because this is a card of spending time in some sort of company. It doesn't always have to be connected to the lovers. It can be people coming together or entities coming together to do something that you love. So I feel you're going from a very solitary energy here right now, and maybe even like traveling for some of you, not all of you. I actually get this sense that whoever you're meeting has a strong connection to either the travel industry or they travel a lot, okay? But I feel they have a base, okay? And it doesn't mean that they're off like, you know, traveling all the time. It just feels like either they travel sporadically or they have some sort of connection. It could be like, you know, they used to work in the travel industry, but when I started your reading, there was a lot of airplane sounds going on, both outside of my apartment, but at the same time, I could hear it when I'm scrying as well. They were separate noises, but highlighting some sort of travel. So either you are going traveling, or, you know, you're about to meet a person who's strongly connected to that industry. So I'll leave it there. That could be very broad. But because this card is in the resistance position, a lot of you are feeling like your love life has, you know, ground to a halt. Nothing's happening there. So I feel with this card, you are kind of like looking at your options. You struggled with meeting people who open up, who are emotionally available. You know, there's also this energy of kind of like meeting people in your past who tried to control you in some way, and you are breaking free from that, because this is very much a breaking free card, breaking free of expectations. You may even notice that personally your friendship circles are evolving or shifting in a certain way, because I feel like you're going through like a major awakening. You're seeing things differently these days. That's what I feel here. And I feel a lot of you are focused on your sense of purpose. You may have even withdrawn from the dating scene, because this is a card in the reverse. It is to like not move forward. It is to be stationary, or it is an energy where you've thought about giving up looking for love. You know, it's on your mind sometimes, especially since you're here. You wouldn't be here if it hasn't like popped into your mind there. But I feel there's this energy of like feeling a bit lost when it comes to love, because nothing is clicking. You may have tried going on dating apps or tried everything really, but it just ends up in the same way. Either you meet people where it looks like it's going in a certain direction and then suddenly it just falls apart because you've got the tower there. Maybe even people ghosting, for example. So I feel there's this energy of wanting to move forward. You personally are going through certain changes in your life, and therefore you may want different things when it comes to love now. And I feel like you're creating space in your life in order to welcome love in. But also I feel a lot of you have been super busy, and this has kept some sort of structure around you where you're asking yourself, do you have space for love? So therefore you're recognizing it is time to create that space for love to come on in. I mean, this card will go into the upright there, which means after a struggle, when it comes to love, I feel there is you overcoming some obstacles. I feel like, you know, you have a beautiful heart. You are lovable. You love gently, passionately, intensely, all of those things. And you deserve a person who can match your vibration. But I feel as you've been going through some changes right now, you've been figuring out who you are and what you want, and therefore you're starting to be a little bit more precise. And that's why I wanted everyone to kind of like think about the sort of person you want to attract, the sort of love that you want to attract into your life, because now you're connecting to that vibration, okay? You have this card of vibration. The Lover's card is a soulmate card. So I definitely see here you're attracting love. Some of you, this may occur after either traveling, or it could be that you are meeting someone who is outside of your neighborhood or outside of your usual parameters of where you normally frequent, okay? We will get to the Celtic Cross to see who's coming your way, but I feel like you're going to meet a person who you have manifested, and it will shock you. It could be love at first sight with this person is what I'm seeing, but also I feel both you and this person you're about to meet, I feel like you've both had experiences where love has drained you in some way. You know, it feels like you've met people who didn't match your vibration or didn't give back in the same way, and it felt empty somehow. And I'm just being given this energy, and this may not resonate with all of you. I mean, the tower can represent like a sudden shock in a relationship that made you kind of like withdraw from love in some way. Or it could be that, you know, you've had to be very strong and very independent in your life. And you have almost come to the realization that love has not shown up for you. So therefore, you know, you've been focusing on building your life for yourself. And, you know, it's an energy of thinking, well, it's not coming, so why should I bother? But actually, I see it coming for you. But I'm also being given this energy of being in a relationship that went on too long when you should have exited the relationship earlier. So some of you may be healing that, or looking at the fact that from now on, you're not going to waste time. If there's a red flag or you're not feeling it, you're out. Okay, so I feel there's just this calibration or recalibration even going on within you right now, and it is aligning you, because when you tell the universe, you know, what you really want, and then you start to turn down people or situations that do not resonate with your vibration at this moment in time, because remember, we always change, we're always shifting, then the universe starts to deliver you precisely what it is you want. Very important to recognize we must not focus on the things we do not want, because we're all energy, okay? Remember, we are energy, and we're giving out different vibrations, different energies, different pheromones, you know? When we focus on the things we don't want, the universe picks up on that vibration and matches it to the vibration. So just be mindful. If you've ever thought, oh, I don't want this, but you get more of it in your life, that's why you're attracting in terms of vibrations. So, you know, flippantly, many years ago, I said, you know what, I'd love to meet someone like that. And I just like threw it out there. And sure enough, the universe delivered me someone pretty much identical to the person that I was like watching on a TV show. And I was like, oh, they'd be great. But actually, I didn't really think about the details. The character they were playing was not very nice. I got a person in life that was very similar, not very nice. And of course, the person was like almost identical to the performer. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like the famous person that I was watching. And bizarrely, the universe, of course, has a sense of humor. The person's name was identical to the character in real life. It was just like weird. Everything was weird because I flippantly connected to a vibration. I was like, oh, I'd love to be with a person like that. Oh my gosh, you know. I didn't really think about it. So be very precise and think about the vibration you're giving out, okay? Because you're matching it at this time. With the Lover's card, of course, you are drawing love in and you will be loved. But there's also an energy here of choices, okay? So I'm just going to tell it how it is, okay? I got to be honest with you. The Tower, if you think about a tower and all the times that towers show up in like stories, towers tend to be a place where people take sanctuary or feel trapped or, you know, rely on as a structure to have as a barrier, okay? So that can indicate you can either stay at home and get online, do online dating. Of course, you know, if that's not your bag, the Chariot card is like, okay, look at your options. You can get out there. You can do more fun things for you. Are you in a comfort cycle right now where it's nice, we build it, we all build it, and then we start to get complacent and think, you know what, I'll get out tomorrow, or I'll see if there's anyone online tomorrow, or I'll join that app tomorrow. And I feel there's an energy here of look at your choices right now. Okay, are you following your heart? Are you doing more things for you? Because I feel you're being called right now to follow your passions, you know, and I feel like you're about to meet a person who matches your vibration, but I do see with that Tower energy, even you are like fed up and it's like, I need to come out of a comfort zone and do something different, something wild, something daring, bold. And I feel like you are doing something for you that puts you in the position to meet someone new, because this is a card of empowerment. This is about your direction. It's about you like taking back the power to make advancements. The Chariot card is always successful. Okay, so this can be you're determined. You know, if you want to be successful in business, for example, you put yourself in situations to be successful in business, networking, you know, learning, you know, you find a way to present yourself to be ready for the opportunity. So I feel like you're doing that right now for love. Love is no different. When we want something, then we must put ourselves in a position to be open to it. So I feel right now you are changing the way you approach something in your life. Big lifestyle changes here. And I'm going to do a Celtic cross just to see what else is going on there. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, you're feeling dissatisfied. Ten of Swords, a lot of you have gone through a very painful ending in a previous relationship, whether it was separation, divorce, whether it was you felt betrayed, because the Ten of Swords, you know, that can be a betrayal card. So a lot of you may have trust issues regarding love, but I feel like there is someone coming in that will heal your trust and love. I feel like you're doing healing for you, but at the same time, I feel there's someone coming on in who will never give you any cause to mistrust them. But I feel there's an end of something here to create space for a new beginning. Eight of Wands is travel. Eight of Wands is messaging. Eight of Wands is things gaining momentum. It also indicates being in a position to be ready to fall in love. And I feel like you're kind of like at that vibration right now. We got the King of Wands energy. We've got the Three of Cups. Some of you, there may have been a betrayal here, but Three of Cups, it's in your potential position, okay? Three of Cups doesn't mean like third-party situations. Three of Cups means community, gatherings, you know, groups of people, activities that perhaps you do that are exciting, or a place where you come together to share, or dance, or have fun, celebrate. So if you've been invited to something recently, some sort of invitation, or even if you haven't, there may be an invitation coming on in where a group of people come together. This could be friends. Got the Six of Wands. This is you truly being seen, getting attention there. Wheel of Fortune, fate, destiny is putting you in the path to meet this person. However, it feels like you've got to really focus on what it is that you want. We've got the Justice card. You have a contract with this person. Two of Wands. I mean, that's in the hope and a fear position. The Two of Wands, which means you waited a long time for love. I mean, you haven't been like sitting by the window, darning your socks by candlelight, waiting for love to come on by. But I feel like you've been getting on with your plans. And some of you, there is this energy of planning something that is coming up in the near future. And I feel like you will get a lot of attention at this. We got the Eight of Swords. So Eight of Swords can indicate either a shyness or, you don't see this coming. Eight of Swords basically means it's shattering illusions as well. But I feel like you don't see this love coming. We got the Queen of Wands. We've got a match. I mean, there's definitely a high level commitment coming on in here for you. So I'm really excited about that. Okay. I mean, the Queen of Wands, of course, is a Leo card. Okay, but because there's a fiery energy here, this is an energy of you in the past, so it means that you are taking the initiative to do something, and it's going to put you in your vibrational match to meet a person where you could settle down with that person. So I would say a very intense connection, a lot of chemistry, but also a very spiritual connection, very deep conversations. I mean, this person that's coming in, it feels very family oriented. This person, they're very attractive. And they match you as well. So I feel, this person's going to be catching your eye because they're going to be staring at you. They're going to be captivated by you. So let's look at your first card there. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. Now, the Seven of Pentacles indicates you're at a fork in the road in life. You may even be opening up to a new strategy, thinking, you know what, I've tried the online dating. I've tried this. I've tried that. Tried it all. It didn't work. Now, remember, when meeting another person, they have a journey, spiritual evolution path of their own. So sometimes this can mean that they were not ready to accept the love that you have to offer at this time, but you're meant for each other, but you're on a trajectory to meet each other at some point. So it doesn't mean, that there's no one out there for you when you're waiting for love. It just means that the other person perhaps has not got to the position in their life where they are ready to accept the love that you have to offer. Because remember, we can only meet each other as deeply as we have met ourselves. And you've done a lot of soul searching, a lot of revelations. You've been breaking a lot of cycles. You've been really trying to rebuild your life in some way. And of course, you're being really honest with yourself. So you may want things in a relationship right now that you're deciding to be really upfront with and abrupt with, because you don't want to waste time. So the Seven of Pentacles can indicate you've invested in experiences in the past and it was disappointing. It can be that, you are focusing on your finances right now, on your stability. It can be that, you are someone who's focusing on your achievements. You're also looking for someone who is careful with your heart. I feel this is a card of like being in that fork in the road where you're just looking at life in general and kind of like trying to reimagine things. Go in different directions, manifest opportunities that perhaps you don't have right now as well, and not afraid to admit what is no longer working for you. So for example, if you have a certain type of person you tend to go for, but it always ends up in them not appreciating you or seeing your true value, I feel like you are kind of like recalibrating, saying, I always go for that sort of person, and it leads to the same outcome. If we always do the same thing, because it's connected to the tower there, we're always going to get the same outcome. And that's going to just waste your time. So I feel a lot of you are looking at the alternative. So this is a card of the alternative. I do feel the person that you're manifesting is actually someone that you are envisaging for your future, but they may be a little bit different from your usual type, is what I'm picking up on. And I think that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong, I feel like you're very attracted to this person. I feel there's a lot of passion, a lot of chemistry. I feel like they tick a lot of boxes, okay? And I feel like you've waited for someone like this for a long time. However, there's something just a little bit different about them, a little bit unique about them, which is perfect, okay? Because you are unique. That is your superpower, and you are attracting someone who matches your vibration at this time. But the Seven of Pentacles is your starting position, and right now you're feeling that the dating pool, as it were, is a little bit dissatisfying, okay? And also I feel like you've put a lot of work into meeting people, and perhaps it has not been reciprocated in some way. Okay, I feel like you've been patient, waiting for love. You've invested. You've tried to go, oh, let's see how it goes. Okay, you're not wanting to pick the safe bet. You're not willing to settle, which is great, because you're telling the universe, that's not for me. That's not for me. I mean, I think that's kind of like an indication, like, yeah, that's not for you. It's like the revelation, because sometimes when we meet a person, especially when we go, oh, this is a new person, exciting, let's get to know them, we start to really see them as they truly are. Of course, initially there is that, pedestal that we put people on at the first. It's kind of like they're the best thing since sliced bread. So we kind of changed the dynamic. We think they're awesome. Okay, so we idolize a little bit and we put them a little bit above ourselves. We don't really realize that, but that means that when we're looking up to them thinking, wow, you're amazing, we're actually putting ourselves a little bit below them because we're looking up at them. So it's about keeping that balance there, because the Seven of Pentacles indicates the balance has been tipped a little bit. Six of Pentacles is the right balance. Seven of Pentacles, something's a little bit uneven there, okay? So it can be that you're looking at that exchange. But also, it's an energy that when you notice something in a relationship that you think, oh, okay, that's not something I'm happy with, okay? But sometimes, and not everybody, of course, but it's just coming through, sometimes we kind of go, you know what, maybe they didn't mean it, or maybe that was just a one-off. We can sometimes make excuses, but I feel like you're in a position in your life right now where you're like, nope, no more excuses. That's it. I'm going to call it out. If it's not right, I'm off. And you're telling the universe, literally telling the universe, like this is like revelation time. That's not for me. By deciding to admit what is no longer working for you, because this is a card where it says that you're not afraid to admit, okay, that's not right. That's not what I'm looking for. Next. Okay, not that you're not investing. I just feel like you're just more aware. And this card is a revelation card, which is like you're more awake, or you're more aware of when something isn't hitting based on your previous experiences. Because sometimes we will make excuses, especially when we're in the throes of some sort of like feelings, passion. And you may have had experiences like that in the past. Some of you haven't. But I am picking up on that in this particular reading, and it may be that that's a revelation where you're like, yeah, as I'm maturing, I'm not accepting it. You're valuing yourself in a different way. So what is crossing you? We got the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords can indicate that either you've met people who are coming out of relationships, very painful experiences, and they kind of like come towards you for fixing. Okay? I feel a lot of you are realizing that, whilst that is wonderful, in terms of a trait that you have, that you are not just someone's emotional crutch. You're here to be loved fully and have that passionate experience in love that is sustainable. And I feel with that Ten of Swords in the crossing position, it can tell me that some of you have gone through a lot of pressure recently, or some sort of ending. Doesn't have to be a previous relationship. But I feel a lot of you have gone through a challenging breakup at some point that you've been healing. And it's taken you a long time because you're honoring yourself. But also I feel this is like an end of an old way of thinking, because you have a revelation card. Swords are connected to the thoughts, to the mind, to the ether. So I feel a lot of you, this is about you kind of like thankful for the experience, but I'm moving on. You're responding differently. You're not wasting time. And I also feel that this is about you creating space for love. So I feel, it's been hard to have a new beginning with somebody based on either the nature of society and dating. Either you're meeting people who are, on the rebound from previous experiences, who haven't done the work to be free, to open up to relationships. There's always a lingering wound or a lingering ex in the background for some of you. And you're like, nope, I don't want that. I want someone who sees me for me, and I don't want to be, someone's comfort blanket. Let's tell it how it is. So I feel with that Ten of Swords, because that is a broken card. It can highlight someone who's had challenge. And of course, I feel like you have had challenge, but because you've had the revelation card, it tells me you've done a lot of spiritual work to work through these things and heal these things and process so you can be free of cycles, so that you can love again. Because the Eight of Wands is a moving on card. So a lot of you are moving on from, a hurt or a betrayal or an upset, or the fact that you have had experiences that were very difficult, very stressful. I mean, this can also be that it's been a very stressful time in life right now, and the last thing that you have been focused on is love. It's not a priority. Maybe something you want, but it may not have been viable for you to focus on it at this time. So I feel like you're making some changes to be able to be open or create that space. But when you have a Ten of Swords, it basically means things can only get better. Okay, it's a crossing card. You read the reverse as well as the upright. And the reverse is a new start. It's an energy of recovery, forgiveness, moving on. Now, we don't forgive the past to let anyone off the hook. we kind of forgive the past, or at least come to terms with it, in order to lighten our own karmic load, because it's heavy to keep all those experiences with us, and it can prevent us from opening up to true happiness in the future, especially if you've gone through something traumatic. Okay. Firstly, I'm sending you a huge hug out there, because the Ten of Swords is traumatic. So I'm sending you so much love. And of course, words are not enough to comfort or console if you've been through a very traumatic experience, and it shaped who you are. So it may make you very hesitant and create that barrier when it comes to love. But, you heal and move forward again, not to kind of like be strong enough to accept more hurt or pain or sadness. You go through this process in order to trust that happiness and joy is your right, that you can accept it into your life. So I feel right now you're in that transition period. The Eight of Wands is to move forward from something. And it also is to celebrate the wonderful you. 8 is the number of the self. This is to lead with passion, do more things that excite you. This is a card of speed, action, movement, reaction as well. Someone rushing into your life. So I would say that you are about to attract someone that you've been wishing for quite some time. And looking at the energy for the majority of you, not all of you, of course, but the vibrations that I'm getting right now, whoever I'm picking up on, I feel it's not too far away. Okay, we've got the King of Wands. So this is a past position card. So this can indicate that you're taking the decision or the ownership to change your life. This is an energy of taking charge, of course, leadership, but also this is about being motivated. So after a long period of time where you may have withdrawn from love or thought, you know what, there's so much going on right now, chaotically, things have been challenging, and this can be just in life in general. I feel the cycle of challenge is coming to an end because you've got that Ten of Swords. This means the end of challenge. Okay, and then you've got that King of Wands, which means inspiration. It means suddenly, you are influencing your circumstances. You are aligned with what it is that you want, and you're building in confidence. Your experiences are making you more confident to fall in love with you, and, pay attention to where we feel like we're not enough, because sometimes we all feel that way. Not all the time, but sometimes we have a low moment. That's human nature. We fluctuate in our feelings. And it can be that now you're open to passion, but not just passion to meet a person. I feel this is about you overcoming things in order to be more motivated to get involved in life, to reignite that spark, to do more creative things, because the King of Wands is a passionate card. It is to be creative. It is to recognize that you are enough, and also, you're someone who is very attractive. Wands attract. It's all about energy. So if you've been feeling like recently that suddenly you're feeling a little bit like, okay, let's get out there, let's do something exciting and new and bold and daring, it's because the vibrations are shifting and you're doing something that you are passionate about. And this is going to put you in that state of attraction. Confidence is an aphrodisiac. So some of you may have been, battling with confidence for some time. They always say Leo, super confident. Not always. Not every Leo. Depends on placements there. So I feel like you've been grappling with something, but you are in a trajectory right now where if you haven't received an invitation for something, or you haven't been interested in some sort of group activity, I feel it's very close in your energy to coming in, because that Three of Cups is a celebration. Now, some of you, for example, you could be invited to a wedding or an engagement party, okay? Because there's a lot of love in this vibration, so it could be that you're invited to some sort of party where people are getting together or celebrating an anniversary or actually getting married, but it doesn't have to be. Three of Cups indicates community or people coming together, dancing, having fun, frivolity, okay? So I feel there's something in the near future that maybe you're curious about going to, because this is a potential position there. This is a celebration. Three of Cups is celebration. It is also about, sharing, friendship, coming together. So you could meet a person where you share a really deep conversation with each other, and you open up in a way that you've never opened up with anyone. And this person, they do the same. And suddenly you're like, wow, we've got this bond. We talked for ages, hours. And you just know there's just something different. There's going to be chemistry between you and this new person. But this is a card that indicates you'll meet this person connected in some way to a group of people. And this could also be that for some of you, not all of you, but for some of you, there could be a friend that you have who has someone in mind that you'd be perfect for, and they may try to set you up. So that's coming out there as well. But because there's something here about the eyes, I mean, these two cards are highlighting the eyes there. Okay, so there's a lot of flirtation with the eyes when you meet this person. It's like you catching them looking, them catching you looking, little smiles, glances, like, okay, let's, like, it's clear we're kind of attracted to each other. Should we just like shuffle on over and talk to each other? Should we just like, you know, start gravitating towards each other's sphere? So I feel there's a bit of flirtation going on with you and this person. And you know, it's the sort of person who, this is what I mean drawn to. My guides are saying focus on the card. So, of course, we've got like a little genie's lamp there. So that means you're aligning with a wish. It means that you're allowing yourself to be seen. You're in the spotlight. You know, you're drawing people's attention. This is a card of getting attention, being like raised above all else. So that's why I said some of you have been learning about putting people on a pedestal when it comes to love, especially. But, what I'm being given by my guides is this person is literally going to walk past you and like look back at you like, whoa, who is that? So you're going to be aware of that. And that is your first kind of like, what's going on here? And then you like really take stock of this person and you're like, oh my gosh, they're looking at me and they're thinking, oh my gosh, they're looking at me. So I feel both of you are highly attracted to each other. There is a spark, okay? Instant spark. And I feel both you feel it, people around you feel it, everyone kind of becomes aware of it, okay? But this is your advice to yourself in this moment, the Wheel of Fortune, fate, destiny. You want something that is like destined to happen, not something that you just fall into, not something that you go chasing. You know, you want something that feels right. And I feel that this is a love that's going to change your life. This card is all about destiny. It's about fate. It's about the law of karma, bringing you both together. Lots of meaningful coincidences when you meet this person. You can have conversations where you're like, oh my gosh. There's something coming on here, not for all of you, but for some of you, you may even share the same numerical date. So it may be that, of course, your birthday is either in July or August, of course, but perhaps if your birthday is on like the 27th, maybe their birthday is on the 27th of March or the 27th of November, you know, so it doesn't have to be the same month, but there's something like numerical that is the same. And you're like, that's weird. We're like 6 months apart. Or, you know, it can be something really kind of like unique. Or maybe you live at number 27 and they do. It doesn't have to be 27. I'm just giving you a date. But there is some sort of commonality there, okay, that you share. And you're like, no way. You may even have a person in common that you know that you'll discover later on. So for those of you who've been set up with, you know, a person through a friend, that's when it's going to be obvious, okay? But if you're not being set up through a friend, I would say later on into your relationship, both of you are going to discover that you know a common person. You have a friend in common, okay? And it's like, whoa, how did we never meet each other? And you may have even gravitated to the same spheres, because I feel like it's going to be like a shocking conversation where you're like, we were always destined to meet. It highlights that you've been circling around each other's sphere for a long time. Even if you took a vacation to a certain place in the world, okay? This person's going to say, I was at that, or I was there at that time, or in that year. That's so weird. We didn't meet. The universe is like, yeah, because you had to be ready. The vibrations had to match. You're always meant for each other. And I feel that's something that you will both realize you were meant for each other, okay? So we have the circumstances outside of yourself. The Justice card indicates making some adjustments in your life, being honest with what you want. You know, sometimes people shy away from the bigger conversations in relationships, even from the very beginning. You know, having conversations like, what kind of relationship are you looking for? Do you want children? Do you not want children? You know, do you imagine yourself living here your whole life, or do you aspire to travel somewhere else? You know, what are your life goals? Because you need to share the life goals, okay? So sometimes those conversations, it feels like it scares people away. But actually the right person, it's not going to. It's refreshingly honest. So I feel it's important that, of course, you temper and gauge how you approach subjects, but at the same time, being your authentic self and saying, yeah, this is what I want. That sorts through the wheat and the chaff. as it were. And that's not a derogatory thing I'm saying. It basically says who is aligned with you and is going to offer you a healthy relationship, and who cannot have the bigger conversations in relationships, because relationships are about big decisions and compromise and conversations. That's how relationships thrive and survive challenging times, because there's always going to be ups and downs in relationships. That's just the nature of relationships and life. Even if you are together against the world and you have no arguments with each other, which is like something to aspire to, but you're always like super honest, and life sometimes is like challenging. So it can be that you're like, are you on my team? Can I tell you anything? Can I tell you something and never get judged by you? So I feel this is about, having really honest, raw conversations. And I feel like you're going to meet this person where you can have that. Also, the Justice card, this indicates a contract that brings you both together. It's like these two cards are highlighting you're meant to meet this person. Okay, there is something drawing you into this person's sphere and vice versa. And with the Justice card, I actually feel like both of you kind of like tell each other a really raw truth that perhaps you don't normally share on a first meeting with a person. And that's how you kind of know you've met your person. That's coming through strongly there as well. But this is like the law of cause and effect. And again, it comes back to your choices, because the Justice card says, okay, you can stay inside and sit on your sofa. And of course, life is challenging and we all get exhausted. If you're not going to do dating apps or online dating, the universe is going to be like, well, we're going to find it a little bit harder to match your vibration with the person that is meant for you. There is someone out there, but what are you doing in order to put yourself in a position to integrate? Because your Three of Cups is integration, basically. Doesn't mean that you have to go on dating apps. Doesn't mean you have to get involved in speed dating or go to like dating events. But it does say you have to meet the universe halfway. There has to be give and take. And that's, of course, the same in relationships. So I feel this is about you paying attention to the options you have in life and the decisions you make. And there may be an invitation or something that comes in, because I'm seeing RSVP here as well right now. This could be that there's something that you think about maybe not going to, but then last minute, sporadically, you may go to it. So again, please take it as it resonates. I mean, the hope and a fear position, you've been waiting a long time. Two of Wands. Now, Two of Wands can always be an excuse as well. Like I've made them myself in my life. I'm like, okay, I don't feel comfortable right now. I'm not going to go. Okay. And of course, that's me honoring how I feel. That's great. But then when I'm like, okay, I've said I'm not going to go to so many things. When do I tip the balance and say, okay, I'm going to go? Is this an excuse? Am I hiding? Am I hiding away? I've been through that my whole life as well. So Two of Wands can be to find the balance. Go to the things that you feel drawn to going to, and of course, reject the rest. Because again, you are, being more discerning about your time. The Two of Wands, of course, this can indicate, because that figure is literally sitting on the moon. The moon can represent fears, insecurities, trust issues, but also it can highlight uncertainty. Some of you have become really, like, I don't want to say it like this, but this is how it's coming out, comfortable with uncertainty. Like, okay, you know what? I've had people ghost me. It's probably going to happen again, or I don't want that. So therefore, I'm just going to shut down on relationships, because that seems to be the trajectory that people are on right now. People are wishy-washy, in and out. They're not committing. So I feel there's this energy of like removal, because she's literally sitting on the moon. So there is a detachment there. A lot of you also have detached in order to process feelings. And that's great, because, this is a hope and a fear. When you reverse this card, this indicates you won't be waiting for much longer. This is about getting involved. It's not waiting anymore. It's like you going out and doing something for you, because your 8 is at your foundation. This is the earthly plane position. Get passionate, get busy, get involved. Do something that excites you, because 8, of course, is the number of the self. So I feel like you won't be waiting for much longer. The fear, of course, is meeting someone who dangles a carrot, makes you wait, keeps you on hold, or is inconsistent. Someone who's just not in the rhythm of your life, or aspires to be connected to anything that you're interested in. And I feel also the hope is someone who takes their time in a relationship, someone who's not rushing to get to the bedroom, someone who's not going to bypass the intimacy in a relationship, because that can actually help a relationship just fizzle out. It's not sustainable. So I feel you're trying to temper, engage. You know, this is a card that also indicates some of you have been turning people down or turning situations, events down because you're waiting for something better. And I feel that is signaling to the universe that you value yourself in a different way. And this is where your strength lies, okay? Because you're calling in a relationship that matches who you are and what you deserve. So we have that Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords often means that there is some sort of restriction or difficult situation that you're dealing with. For some of you, it can be that your hands are tied right now, that you have to do something, or you have a sense of duty to something, or you're super busy and you just feel like you need to kind of like wait it out, as it were, or find the right moment to break free, because this is a card of breaking free from something. But I would say the Eight of Swords is you releasing yourself from denial and seeing things as they truly are, okay? Where you need to make adjustments in your life, where you need to be more precise, where you kind of like need to be more you, you know, because that is your superpower. I don't feel, looking at your cards, you need to change anything. Just be more you, and just like be proud and shine your wonderful light. Allow yourself to be seen, because you're going to be loved by the right person as you are right now. No waiting for you in the future. You know, this is you now. And I feel with that Eight of Swords, this is an energy that highlights you won't see this person coming. Like, you are doing something that you're doing for you. It's almost like when you're meeting this person, you're like in your own head, or you're going there for a specific reason for you. And then suddenly you notice, actually, that person, are they flirting with me? Are they looking at me? Because I feel there's this energy of them looking back at you and you catching them. And it's like that moment like, oh my gosh. Hello, who's this? And I feel it is reciprocal in its nature there, okay? There's a lot of energy of concealment in the cards as well, okay? As you can see, this figure is showing up here. So I'm just going to pull a quick card on this, because I actually feel your choices come from the fact that you actually know someone already who has feelings for you, secret feelings, okay? Someone who, just be a little bit mindful of this person, because if they're a friend, it could be that sometimes hanging out with this friend, and I'm not saying don't hang out with your friend, of course, but it could be that sometimes there's a vibe of flirtation going on, even though you're like, yeah, they're in the friend zone. But sometimes if you're out in a group, there could be this vibration that's giving off like vibes to other people, like, oh, them two are together, and you're not with this person. So just be a little bit mindful of that, because I feel that actual person has feelings for you, and that's kind of like not blocking, but I feel also blocking, if that makes sense. I don't feel like they're doing it on purpose. I feel like they're just having feelings for you. And you may be like going, oh, they're just a friend, but they're just very flirty. So if you have a friend like that, where you're like, oh yeah, we get on so well, you know, there's kind of like this vibe, but we're just doing that as friends. There's no feelings there. This person actually has feelings. And from the outside looking in, other people who may be interested in you are looking at you and this person thinking, oh, you're together. So therefore, you're off limits. So just watch out for that, because the Eight of Swords can be off limits, okay? Just going to pull a quick card on that. We have the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. Yeah, so Knight of Wands is someone who's very flirtatious. I was just pulling a card about like your friend. Page of Pentacles is there, so that can indicate that this person would literally give you their whole world. I mean, they make a lot of effort. This person, you know, they are warm. They are also feeling with that Page of Pentacles that it's like they may have hinted, because there's this bravado in front of them. The Knight of Wands came out first, so that means there's a lot of flirtation. They feel that if they told you, it wouldn't go anywhere. You know, this is someone who's a dependable friend. So it's almost like they have a flirtation and they are a friend, but they wanted to cross a line, or, you know, they're afraid to cross a line. This person is very funny to be with, very charming, very attractive, very flirtatious. And because the Page of Pentacles is there, it's like it almost like outshines the possibility of a new person coming on in or getting to know you. Okay, so I just am picking up on that vibe. I want to see how you feel about this friend, because looking at that, I just feel like you're seeing them as a friend. Can you show me this friend? How does my beautiful Leo feel about this person? Ten of Swords. Oh, this could also be like, well, I'm not picking up this vibe for all of you, but if you kind of like stay in contact with an ex and you catch up, maybe the vibe is like coming off you, that you're taken, that your heart is really elsewhere, or that you have like something else going on elsewhere and people can feel it. I'm not sure. But Ten of Swords, there's an energy here of maybe your friend has just come out of something. I mean, Ten of Swords, you would shut that down. I'm asking, how are you feeling about your friend? You love your friend, you care about them, but Ten of Swords is like, no, that would be difficult. You wouldn't want to cross a line there. It would cause a problem. I feel that it would kind of like not end your friendship, but I feel it would just be like a betrayal of friendship. So I feel like you wouldn't want to cross a line. You would shut it down. But just be mindful when you're with this person in public, and you're trying to, meet new people, because I feel like there's just an outside view of people going, oh, they're together. So just be a little bit mindful. Your friend's awesome. I feel like they're not doing it on purpose. I feel like they're just naturally being themselves and really gravitating towards you because you're awesome. And they can't help that they have feelings for you. But at the same time, I feel if you're not interested in them, it's just something to be noting, okay? We have this energy of you attracting a person who is right for you, the right vibration there. So I would say with this Queen of Wands, as a solo entity card, this card literally means, collaborations or connections, soul connections, being led by passion, expressing yourself, being creative, and joining some sort of like maybe creative endeavor, or just going out there. I mean, this would be a card where you're out there dancing, going on fun nights out, or finding yourself in a group of people where everybody's just letting their hair down and just out there being themselves. So I would say here that this is you attracting, because it is a Leo card. So you are someone who right now is fun-loving or seeking fun. I mean, you're actually very popular. Whether you know it or not, I feel like people notice you. But this is a card that highlights your worth. Okay, and it's an energy of you wanting to settle down, but finding someone who's on a different level that matches you and what you're about. And I feel like you're going to find it because you're taking the necessary steps to attract it into your life, okay? So follow your passions, even if your passion leads you to traveling or, being creative, whatever it is. I feel like you're on a trajectory to meet someone who will be your soulmate. I mean, to have the Lovers card and then a vibrational match, a King and a Queen of Wands, this tells me everything. So anything else you need to know whilst you're waiting for love, or anything that's highlighted for you to look out for, thank you so much. We have I Am Unbreakable. Interesting, because you have the Ten of Swords and you have the Tower, which is to break apart. So you've been through some very tough times, but you are unbreakable. And this is about you kind of like loving all of yourself, even like the hidden scars, or the invisible scars, and even the visible scars. We all have them. Some of us do, some of us don't, of course. So this is about you like being unapologetically yourself, and you will be loved for all that you are. So know that you are enough, and that as you are in this present moment, this is about accepting yourself and opening yourself to a vibration of someone who accepts you for you as well and loves you for all that you are. So it says, I am unbreakable. It's number 14, which is a temperance energy. So when we have to wait or be really patient and focus on our sense of purpose, because the temperance card is all about purpose. So I feel this is an energy here that sometimes the wait may have made you feel like love is not coming for you, or because you've had to wait, perhaps it breaks your confidence in some way, or it makes you feel like it's never coming. So because you have the Tower, I would say you are unbreakable because you're still standing. I feel it's about you acknowledging that now's the time. I mean, there's no time like the present. We could wait for an eternity to have love, knock on our door. But I feel this is a reading led with action. I mean, it literally says here, I am ready. So you are ready. Okay, I feel like there's this energy of not expecting love, but I feel when it arrives, you're ready. So I would say no more questioning. Just get yourself out there, your wonderful self out there, because you're about to attract the person of your dreams. It's number 30. Okay, now when you reduce it, because of course you reduce the numbers when they go past a certain number. So number 30, it reduces to 3. 3 plus 0 is 3, of course. That's the Empress energy. That is to know that you are attractive, you're nourishing yourself in a different way, and you are love. It is unconditional love that the Empress emanates. So I would say that you're in a state of attraction right now, and I feel like you are going to be ready to receive love. So I'll leave it like that. Just going to go and get a trinket or a ring before we close. Okay, oh my gosh. Look at this. So first off, we have the snake. So this can indicate some of you have been bitten in the past in love, and I do apologize for the loud sounds, okay, just so you're aware. There's some sort of like construction work suddenly just happening, so I thought I'd just mention it there. But the snake can also be to shed old skin, perhaps all the things that are outdated in your life that you are transforming. But the snake is basically change, okay? And some of you, if you have been betrayed in the past, it can be that you've got a trust issue that you're healing. You may have also met very controlling or jealous people in the past, and you are changing your vibration to move away from this. Now also we've got a horse. Now horses are all about loyalty, but you may have had an experience where someone bolted from a relationship, or maybe you've met people who are very transient player type people who are running away from intimacy. But I feel like you're about to meet a person who really resonates with you. I mean, you've got the heart trinket. You know, when I put my hand in there, it just feels like metal. But you've got two hearts coming together as one there. I feel like you and this new person who's coming into your life, you're meant to be together. So nothing is going to stop you from meeting each other, okay? And also we have a cocktail. I mean, I would say this is like a fun event. For some of you, this could be traveling. This could be like you on a beach, or at a, you know, some sort of event where you're sipping a cocktail, for example. I mean, there's literally an umbrella in this drink. So umbrellas represent protection as well. So it can be that, you know, you're safe to love. But also, I feel the cocktail is always kind of related in some way to life. It's all about the ingredients that you want to make the perfect cocktail. So it's about the ingredients you want in life and in relationships that make the near perfect relationship. I say near perfect because, you know, no relationship is 100% perfect. We all have flaws, of course, but, you know, it's about two people who are meant to be together that attract each other, and it's perfect. So I feel it's all about the ingredients. So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates, my beautiful Leo. If it does, please like or subscribe to my channel. Completely free for you. All you have to do is press that little notification bell. Lets you know when I update my next message. Lets me know that you resonate with the reading, which is so important for me too. It'll be really interesting to find out where you're at right now with your dating life, as it were, and the vibrations you feel like you're in as you're shifting, because we have that tower energy. So things are changing for you. I feel like it's you breaking yourself open in order to accept love. So when you acknowledge that vibration within yourself to really see where you feel like you're at and the expectations you have in love, if any, you know, this is when you kind of document it. When you write it down and it's solid, that's when you reinforce the message to the universe of what it is that you want. So it's worth noting that when you write it down, it becomes solid and clear, and it's like a declaration of what it is you want. Similarly, just write the sort of person you want, the traits. You know, writing things down, this is your cosmic ordering. Okay, so I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates. Thank you so much, my beautiful Leo, and love and light.